Second place in the Premiership meant United would have to qualify for the Champions League. The summer saw Sir Alex make changes in his quest for European glory. The first hurdle would be to overcome the Polish side, Lodz. Hello and welcome to Champions of Europe. Today's match looks back at the very start of what would turn out to be an amazing 1998-99 campaign. The previous season saw the Reds losing out to Monaco at the quarter-final stage of the competition. A David Trezeguet away goal was all that separated the sides. In the Premiership, United had lost out to Arsenal, which meant Sir Alex's men entered the Champions League at the second qualifying round stage, one round from the lucrative group phase of the competition. Up against United with a little-known Polish side, Lodz. The champions of Poland beat Azerbaijan side Kabaz 7-2 on aggregate in the first round of qualifying. The pre-season saw the departure of Gary Pallister back to Middlesbrough, and with a gap to fill in defence, in came the giant Dutchman Jaap Stam for £10.75 million. We're still a couple of weeks away from Dwight Yorke's arrival, so Paul Scholes partners Andy Cole up front. As for Lodz, well, no household names for them, but goalkeeper Boguslav Vipario knew that he could be in for a busy night, while many others in the Lodz side would have been looking forward to enjoying the experience of playing at the Theatre of Dreams. So a big match for both clubs. The Champions League has always been the benchmark for United, and they know they're now 2 games away from making the first round proper. Time now to sit back and enjoy the match.
LKS Lodz will kick off. By the time they entered the European frame last year, United had won the Charity Shield and 5 out of 6 Premiership games. This year they're seriously short of match practice, and the Pole season has been up and running for nearly 4 weeks now. So they might just be a little bit sharper on the fitness front. This is Kos, laid off to Cibula. Roy Keane getting his first challenge of the evening. Not quite as lusty as his first challenge at Wembley.
Yeah, well, I think he hasn't got to be too anxious, Roy Keane. I think he's got to be a little bit patient. Just sit in midfield and not try and get tackles in when they're not on. He has got a problem, as Barry was saying before the game. He's got this problem. His mobility's not quite right. So he might as well try and use his knowledge and his experience.
Rather mysterious free kick has been given against little Nizhnik. And here's Beckham. Now Neville. Neville getting in behind the wing-back. Gets Benkovsky, the sweeper, to come across anyway.
And it's an old phrase of mine when I come here to Old Trafford to watch European nights. I like to see United play at a real high tempo and really pressurise the opposition and keep them pegged back. And I think that's got to be the keynote tonight. They've got to move the ball quickly. They've got to get forward runs from the wide midfield players particularly. We've got 2 solid citizens in midfield in Keane and Butt.
Beckham's on his way again. Keane was aware of that fact, but so too was Zubelik.
I mean, we actually talked before the game about we were led to believe they would play with the 2 strikers. They're actually only playing with 1 striker at the moment, which they're playing with just Titsky playing up the middle. Zubelik, who's been his normal partner, playing in a wide left-hand position. He's virtually playing, he's almost playing as a marker against Beckham. That does, of course, make it difficult for United because basically when they come on the attack from a position like this, almost every player is between them and the goal.
This is Andy Cole. Hits is ahead of him, but it's turned away by Benkovsky. Scholes, who was just caught by Oluwasegun on the edge of the penalty area. Manchester United will have the free kick. The big Nigerian trying to look as innocent as he possibly can.
I think that'll be part and parcel of the United game plan as well, you know, to try and play a few little slick 1-2s around the edge of the box, try and move the big Polish defenders about. And a move like that has brought them a very, very dangerous position here.
Booking from Oluwasegun. Pressure on Vepawa and his defenders. Beckham and Giggs are the 2 standing over the ball. Dennis Irwin is lurking with intent just behind them. Both Johnson and Stam are forward.
I think this is one whatever they do, they've got to get this one on target and test the keeper and see if they can get a rebound off it.
The referee's got them back at least 10 metres. It's David Beckham. A rather tame effort. He's headed it back in towards Andy Cole. Stam trying to make something of it. Turned away by Omar Diagby. Neville. Caught header that time by Klisha. Giggs. Rolled into Cole. Good turn. Swivelled well there, Andy Cole, onto his less favoured side, but he made the space for the shot.
That's unlucky. The ball slid into feet. He knows where he is. Two defenders around. Swivels quickly. May even have got a little deflection to take the heat out of the shot.
Bound to have been distracted by all the talk of Clivert, York and the others in the last month or so, Cole. He's fed butt here and turned it back to Andy Cole. And now Ryan Giggs! And Paul Scholes just beaten to it there by Pavlak. Important save by Vepawo. Good chance for Manchester United.
Oh, glorious chance. Some great football leading up to it. Some fine 1-2s. Nice little ball here. Knows where he is, Andy Cole. I think he was looking for a return. Full marks to the keeper. Makes a good block from Cole.
Beckham's corner towards the up stump. Scholes is underneath it. Pavlak reached it. Turned away by Benkovsky. And Woods have a free kick.
But that's certainly going to be the way through, isn't it? Quick, bright, incisive front play, feeding it into feet and then making little runs from midfield, little balls laid off.
This confirmation of Darlington Omar Diagby's yellow card. And this was the chance that followed soon after. First for Giggs and then almost for Scholes. Nicely sorted out by Stam and by Jonsson.
Yeah, he's had a good start, yep, Stam. Not too much pressure on him, but he's tidied it up, he's been clean. He's just set Giggs free in the last raid.
David Beckham, Roy Keane, Nicky Butt. Rolled into the path of Beckham. Useful cross towards Cole.
That's a beautiful ball. That's the area they've got to hit. I mean, some great play led up to that, some good movement. Free David Beckham. A lovely curling ball at the first post. One touch, doesn't look in, feeds it in. Maybe you might say Andy Cole might just have worked harder to go across the first defender.
Quite brave, Krishat, with the header away. Forward by Butt. Krishat against Cole. Defender who just had a yard start there, but Andy Cole might just pick his pocket. Covered well there, Gregor Krishat. He's perceived as being the hard man of the team. There's a bit of a folk hero in Woods. Keen to Giggs. Well, he had the opportunity and the time to set himself and measure his shot. Just didn't quite hit the target.
And it's a good early ball in from Keane. Won the tackle well. Just a bit unfortunate with the shot. He's cut across the ball and dragged it wide.
Only reached double figures once in the last 4 seasons, Ryan Giggs. It's an area of his game where I think Manchester United will hope that he continues to improve. Missing to see how much freedom he's given when Jesper Blomqvist is fit. Scholes has found Giggs. He has a real chance here, and Manchester United have the lead after 15 minutes. Ryan Giggs has got the goal. The smile belongs to Alex Ferguson and his players because that has taken a lot of the pressure off tonight. That's the breakthrough which should now set the tone for a good night for Manchester United.
Well, and I mean, look at little Scholes. He's done brilliantly. Defender wanted locking up. He misread the long ball. And Scholes has done everything right. Nods it down. He's had a couple of sightings. Nice cool, read the script. Nice cool and composed. Does the last one. Whoops. Tucks that one away tidy.
He's got that wonderful goal here against Juventus last year. And as I was intimating there, maybe when Jesper Blomqvist is fit in 2 or 3 weeks' time, Manchester United's other major summer signing, Giggs might come in off that left flank and be given a different kind of role, maybe in midfield or even up front.
I think the beauty of him is that, all right, whoever you are, you're going to get injuries as a side or a club or whatever, and he's got that ability to flit in. It is, I mean, I actually think he's better as a left-sided player, but I've seen him play outstanding up the middle. I've seen him play outstanding as, if you like, an ordinary left-sided midfield player, and of course out on this flank from time to time.
Beckham. Scholes, who set up the Giggs goal. He's lost his footing there. He felt it was foul. I think it's gone the other way for handball. This is Nizhnik. Rode a Roy Keane challenge. That's something to tell the grandchildren about. Zubere. Nizhnik. Kos. Knocked away from him by Scholes. Well, that's just what the Dodge ordered for Manchester United. Goal in the opening portion of the game.
It means they don't have to go berserk now. They don't have to force the game. Still play at a tempo, but they know that if they keep pegging away, a second goal will come along.
Krishak almost caught in possession by Giggs. This is Pavlak.
Sometimes the trouble when you play defensive, pull everybody to the ball, you've got nowhere to go really. You can only pass the ball amongst yourselves, which they're doing at the moment along the back line. Now, if this was late in the game and United was still even Steven, they'd be having to chase the ball.
Light round of applause, the sort which you would associate with the other Old Trafford ground just down the road. It's not exactly a rousing atmosphere about the stadium tonight. It is August the 12th, though. I think one or two are still sporting suntans. And I think Lancashire playing in a major cricket final pretty soon.
I think you also think of European nights, particularly great European nights, are being played when the lights are on. It's dark, isn't it? It all seems to have an atmosphere to it.
Manchester United look after themselves tonight, and in Łódź in 2 weeks' time there will be plenty of those European nights ahead of them. Wojciechowski with the header down to Nizhnik, but as much as they can do to string 3 or 4 passes together. Scholes, Keane is making a run here. Towards Andy Cole, who well to direct the header. The cross was deflected, it was dropping vertically out of the sky, and he managed to get a little bit of power behind it.
Krishak thinks he's took a whack on the top of the head here. He's not too anxious to continue at the moment. Talking of headers, though, I'm sure it's Pavlak on the goal. I mean, that's a big deep ball from Neville. Is it Pavlak, the right-sided defender?
This is the goal.
I mean, he has missed it by a distance. Full marks. The little fella's Scholes hasn't taken his half it, played it right into Giggs' run. I think the number 7, Pavlak, he should be locked up for missing that.
Which continuing with 10 men, as Grzegorz Krzysiak has that head wound tidied up. Neville to Cole, let it run to Giggs, try the reverse ball to Scholes. Omodiagbe cut it out. Brought away by Nizhnik.
Doing well there, United. United doing well. They made him hurry the ball.
Giggs to Cole. Waited his moment. And Veipawa just managed to get a hand on the shot, which was delayed.
Pressurised the ball well there, United, to get that opportunity for goal. I think they can afford to do that, you know, because the Łódź team is so deep, and they're only playing 6 or 7 yard passes.
Well seen by Kos that time. Got in front of Cole.
Actually, the reports you've had on him, the big three cost, is that he's one that does like to stride out from midfield.
Need the ball first.
That'll be a luxury I don't think Cole will get too often, a little space to make one of his spin runs into. I think he's going to have to do most of his work in confined spaces.
Wyciszkiewicz. Pawlak. Piaszczycki. Out to Cebula. Cut out by Johnson. Seized upon by Pawlak. This is Cebula. Fell for Nizhnik. Charged down by Keane. A handball has been given there. Free kick to Łódź in a promising position.
At the end of their most promising bit of play, isn't it? I mean, it's the first time they've had any number of people in the United half of the field. As you say, they've got a free kick in a very dangerous position.
Little Nizhnik, number 9, is the man standing over the ball. Bulgarian referee making sure the Manchester United wall retreats a very liberal distance. Midpoint in the first half. Nizhnik with the free kick. That's 2 points for Wigan there. They do have 200 travelling fans from Łódź, and that's about as good as it's got for them so far tonight.
Yes, well away, isn't it? You know, there was a funny sort of feeling before that free kick, wasn't there? I know there's not a big atmosphere in the ground. It's a little bit testimonial-wise in terms of the fans looking, but you sort of sense they were a little bit anxious there. That's the sort of run that Alex Ferguson's looking for Scholes to make, higher up the park, turning the last defenders.
Talking of testimonial games, there is a big match here next Tuesday. Manchester United are home to Leicester in the Premiership on Saturday. Then next Tuesday, Eric Cantona is in town for the long-awaited Munich testimonial game. If you're thinking that might be a nice occasion to come along to, don't worry, it's already sold out. Giggs. Played by Vepawa. Manchester United have 3 men there on the edge of the 6-yard box. Goalkeeper looks useful, made his international debut last month, and there's a feeling that he's now got the chance to become established as the number 1 Polish keeper. He's only 23 years of age.
Yeah, it was an excellent take, but that was the end of some more good work from Giggs. Once again, he's doing that very well, pulling the defender to the ball and then spinning and running long.
Beckham looking for Giggs coming in field, looking for another goal, ran into Benkowski. Nizhnik played his colleague into trouble, or Roy Keane had a real clout at Zuberic there. He got there late and really clattered him.
Yeah, see, that to be honest, Keane at his best. I think he's butt, hasn't he, for the second challenge there, I think. But Keane at his best gets there first. Now, because he's got to catch up on, what, 12 months, is it? He's booked Keane, has he?
We're not sure if it's Keane or Butt.
I thought he booked Butt for the second challenge, but...
certainly Butt was closer to the referee when the yellow card was shown. And Nicky Butt it was who made the second challenge.
I think if there's any advice to Roy Keane at the moment, I think I'd be a bit inclined to say just be patient and jockey people a little bit. There he goes, he's late there. Now that is worth a booking, but that was another one, you see, is the referee seemed to let the first one go, actually.
Zuberic quickly to his feet. He's not going to miss out on this big a night out as he's likely to experience in his career. As I say, he'd never actually started a match for Łódź prior to tonight. He's been around with them for 6 years, played in a lot of pre-season games, but never broken into the first team squad, and he's done it at just the right time. big European Champions League match in front of 50,000 at Old Trafford. Vyciszkiewicz. Sabula. Now Kos. And he was allowed to get in the shot, which was always swinging away from the goal. But Manchester United have gone no more than 10 minutes now since Ryan Giggs' goal and haven't really threatened much in that period.
No, they've had a couple of runs from Giggs where he's darted in and almost made something happen. But the game's dropping, the tempo's dropping, and that's a big thing in favour of LKS.
We have had confirmation that it was Nicky Butt who was booked, not Roy Keane. Okay. Roy Keane, who was substituted with 15 minutes to go on Sunday, was referred to prior to the Charity Shield as a player as influential as Cantona to Manchester United, that by Alex Ferguson. But talking to Alex earlier today, he was the first to say that Roy Keane really needed that game on Sunday. He was, in his words, blowing a little bit before the end. Zuberi. Catching practice for Schmeichel, who's looking to get Giggs on his way. Scholes is there. So to Pavlak. Gary Neville. David Beckham. It's a loose one from Beckham. Nizhnik. Stam got to the ball, ricocheted behind him. Manchester United retrieved it with Beckham and now Cole. Beckham again. Keane. But Fischer just leading over Andy Cole.
He's never far away from him all match.
Well, he did get the ball. He came through Cole a little bit in order to get it. The play was waved on. Nizhnik has run into trouble. Zuberic has got it back. Now Vyciszkiewicz. Nice little combination. Vyciszkiewicz gone on here. Stam comfortably jabbing it away from him. Keane conceding the throw. Vyciszkiewicz has played in the Champions League before and part of the Legia Warsaw side, which got past Blackburn all the way through to the quarter-finals in 1996. Kos. But certainly the injection of finance from the new owner of LKS Łódź, one Anthony Patak, a millionaire, thanks to the erection of a huge shopping mall in the town of Łódź, has enabled them to compete in the domestic transfer market and even set up these schools to encourage Brazilian and Nigerian players of some repute to come to Poland. The Nigerian play tonight was a Brazilian on the bench. Money talks in the modern game. Free kick's been given. Foul by Sabula on Ronnie Johnson. Jaap Stam is making his way forward in the foreground. Giggs and Beckham standing over the ball. Johnson is in there too. It's Beckham. Goalkeeper Vepawa just got to it. So too did Vyciszkiewicz, and he was fouled by Butt. Interesting thing about the money man chairman is that he was a supporter of LKS's big local rivals, the more famous Widzew Łódź. Tried to buy his way into the club when he was on the way up as a small businessman. They told him then that he wasn't wealthy enough to deserve to be a part of their hierarchy, and when he made his millions he said, right, I'll go to the rivals and save them instead. That 4 years ago. This is Sabula making a run from deep, and he's got into a dangerous position. Schmeichel had to come and try to deal with it. As it was, Sabula knocked him behind, got an accusing finger pointed at him by Schmeichel, who felt the foot was a bit high. They're undone here for a moment.
Yes, Sabula's made a good, strong run. And it's one of those where very often you see that particular situation where I've seen Schmeichel himself do it, where they go and clean the forward out. At least he was a little bit patient and realised the ball was going out of play. But I just get the feeling, watching the big number 16, the big Nigerian, Omo Diagbe, you get the feeling if he really wanted to stretch and run forward, he's just playing the ball off a little bit. But I think he's got a lot of power in him. I think he could cause him a problem if he started running forward a bit more.
Johnson in towards Keane. I think Omo Diagbe's got his mind fixed on keeping an eye on Giggs. He doesn't seem to have the confidence to try and take Giggs back into his own half of the field.
Well, what Giggs is doing, of course, is rather than playing as a wide left winger and being easy to mark, he's playing in a position between Omo Diagbe and Pavlik, the right covering central defender. And he's getting more space than anybody in the front of all the forwards there. He's again off on a diagonal run.
Beckham in towards Giggs, came off the head of Krishak, and Manchester United will have to make do with a corner. It could have been something a little bit more. It was a terrific pass from Beckham.
He's been the main threat tonight, Ryan Giggs, hasn't he? With his runs, his darting runs. Obviously, the goal has put him down as the #1 scorer, but his darting runs, just have a feeling in positions like this, United should move towards the ball a little bit more and disturb the defenders.
Giggs with the corner. Turned away at the near post by Benkovsky. Resurrecting the move is Dennis Irwin. Now Giggs again, in towards Scholes, and it came off Omo Diagbe. I don't know how much he really knew about it for a corner kick. Scholes didn't quite make the contact he wanted with a little improvised flick at the near post.
I think if Paul Scholes saw that on the television, he possibly realised he might have been able to take a touch on that. I mean, it all happens so fast in the box, you don't. You have a fair bit of time there.
Beckham's corner. Oh, the goalkeeper missed it, came off Johnson. Stam hooks it goalwards, and it's headed behind by the defender Krishak. Jaap Stam's Old Trafford debut almost marked by a goal. Quick corner taken. Stam denied, Beckham fires it in, and Vepawa this time is able to claim it. The goalkeeper was at 6s and 7s before. Disney. Jastrzybski. Johnson managed to get in a challenge. This is Zuberek. Now Kos. Zuberek. And Keane was sliding in on Kos again. He really has got to be controlled tonight. It's so easy to pick up a yellow card at this stage of the competition, which might be very costly, hopefully, later in the year. That's hopefully, from Manchester United's point of view, to progress, I mean. Niznik. Jastrzybski. Run off it by Stam. Good, strong defending. Here comes Ryan Giggs stretching his legs. 4 defenders around him. Giggs has gone past 2 of them. Couldn't quite get past Krishak. Exhilarating run, though, from the Manchester United #11.
Well, it's a good job for the Polish defence that the captain was recovering quickly there, because Giggs, he looked to be right in again for another shot on goal.
Johnson. Keane. Now Neville. Trying to play Roy Keane in. Ball has run for Keane. It won't quite run for Giggs, though. Paro falls on it. Bit more zip about United again in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Just the 1 goal so far, scored by Ryan Giggs after 16 minutes. Beautifully set up by the head of Paul Scholes. Very little threat from their opponents, LKS Wood, as yet. And having said that, Manchester United haven't really carved out the clear-cut opportunities to really stretch their territorial advantage. Beckham to Scholes, stumbled, and Pavlik managed to reach it. Now Kos. Keane. Neville. Andy Cole trying to to set up Paul Scholes. Clipped it towards Nicky Butts. Well, firstly there were appeals for a penalty against Benkovsky, nothing doing there. I think Butt thought about a header and then felt he had the time to chest it down.
I mean, that's some good little interplay between Scholes and Cole. He's arrived at the box, you're right. They might have thought they had a chance to call for handball there, whether Butt took it on his hand, but I don't think really Benkovsky could really have done anything about that.
Here's Butt again. Now Giggs, sent away by Krishak this time. Throwing to Woods.
That was a bit of an interesting thing from the United's point of view. The play that led up to that chance for Butt was some great little combination play there between Andy Cole and Scholes. And you wonder, the more these play together, what sort of an understanding they might get. I mean, there's been talk about Dwight York. Sheringham will obviously make a strong claim for his place. You just wonder whether these two can have they're both bright and lively players.
Scholes to Cole. Turned away by Pavlak. Now Kos. Play behind Nizhnik. Manchester United are getting it back pretty cheaply again and starting to turn the screws once more. 8 minutes of this first period remaining. Here's Scholes. No foul. But the goal is looking imminent again.
Yeah, they've upped the tempo again. They're driving the game a little bit more, and there's more of a snap and a purpose about the passing, and he's given the free kick now.
Waited a long time for an advantage. Beckham and Giggs fighting over it. Stam and Jonsson are both forward. With Parwa, the goalkeeper, looks a worried man. Who will it be? Beckham or Giggs? It's Beckham. Oh! Just clipped the outside of the post. The goalkeeper was a mere spectator to it. A very relieved spectator.
He's gone a long way around over the wall, hitting it from the goalkeeper. Just clips the outside of the post. As you say, the goalkeeper ground. If that had gone in, you know, you'd have said that where was the goalkeeper there? But it was a lovely flighty ball from David Beckham.
Nizhnik. Turned away by Schmeichel after Stam had got in a challenge. Nizhnik.
He's actually quite a bright midfield player, isn't he, the number 9, Nizhnik? Just had a nice little run there, linked up and got through. You just wonder if you take a chance more, but obviously the discipline or the game plan is try and make it as hard as you can for United. Don't let them get a second goal. I mean, you'd have to believe that even if United finish the game 1-0 like this, they would be good enough to go and win it in Poland.
Irwin to Giggs. Turned away by Benkovsky. And as far as Butt. Now Irwin. This is Beckham. And Scholes trying to set up Keane. He's got Neville making a run to his right. Three waiting for a good cross from Gary Neville. Turned away by Krishak. Final minute of the first half. That solitary goal from Ryan Giggs after 16 minutes. Beckham. Now Scholes. Hooked away by Kos that time. Beckham trying to make something of it, but it's too strong for Roy Keane. Anything that Manchester United must do in the second half to try and make the second half a formality?
Well, I think if I was Alex Ferguson, I'm sure this is the thing you'll be saying is, first thing we do, we win it 1-0. If we can win it, if we can take it on from there and go on, and the next goal sees us get 2 and then 3, fine. But whatever we do, we win it 1-0. No slip-ups.
Stam and Jonsson have been fairly solid thus far. LKS a little limited in their ambition, it has to be said. This is Omid Yagbi, though. Cebula. Kos. Vichiskevich. Cebula. Just underlining what Ron was saying there, Manchester United just happy for LKS to have the ball at a safe distance, play their own way out of an attack. Not wanting to do anything rash or desperate at this stage of affairs. They've got them pretty much where they want them. Plenty of time to build on the lead that Giggs has given Beckham. He's found Keane. Into Scholes. They caught hold of it. It was 5 or 6 yards wide of its mark. Sharp hit from Scholes under pressure. Came on the scene as a goal scorer 3 years ago, at a time when Eric Cantona was completing his suspension. And I know at the time Alex Ferguson felt that he was the most natural finisher on the books.
Oh, he's very, very bright. And that's typical. That last run where he darted at near post is typical of the way he gets his goals. He's usually on the move when he scores, arriving on things.
Easy to forget that last season was Paul Scholes' first season as a club regular. And it finished up playing all 4 games for England at the World Cup finals. Well, Manchester United lead by a goal to nil, scored by Ryan Giggs after 16 minutes. It looked like it may be the forerunner to many more. Beautifully set up by Paul Scholes and calmly taken by Giggs. Manchester United haven't quite got on from there in the style that we might have anticipated, but Alex Ferguson will be happy enough with their dominance and with a half-time scoreline of Manchester United 1, LKS Łódź 0.
Manchester United resume on a new pitch here at Old Trafford. The first of its kind in the Northern Hemisphere, would you believe? Gary Neville with the first cross into the LKS penalty area in the second half. But Keith Kent, the groundsman, is very, very proud of the £500,000 investment that Manchester United have made. It was a very lush pitch. The grass was grown on a turf farm in Yorkshire, but underneath a combination of sand and plastic meshing, it gives the surface a real spring. It's the brainchild of an Australian company that's been particularly successful on racetracks down under, where the horses have not only produced better times, but apparently the trainers said a lot less strain on the horse's limbs. It's very springy, very user-friendly. Drainage is good. And would you believe there are actually 18 pop-up sprinklers out there on the pitch, covered by the grass. Ball comes to rest on one of them, you get a free draw. David Beckham. Run past the defender Zuberek as if he wasn't there, and then the cross was a little disappointing. Understand what Alex was getting at half-time, Ron?
Yeah, just keep driving the game. But like I said, I mean, let's just go back to this a bit. I mean, I think that's good acceleration. That's a good shape, too close to the keeper. But I think if they can keep shaping that ball behind the back line and then start attacking, I think there's got more chance of scoring, attacking the near post than they have at the far post.
Still Zuberek goes on. Oh, and he forced a save out of Schmeichel. What a good run that was.
It was an excellent run. And I tell you what, the shot was very good considering that Stan was putting him under some sort of pressure.
A little reminder for Manchester United. Cole. Defending a little bit too strong from Krishak that time.
He's been a leech with Cole. He's stuck to him all night, and Cole's had a frustrating night of trying to twist, turn, wriggle, and he knows that a second shadow's there for him.
And David Beckham has already clipped the frame of the goal with a free kick.
If he takes this one, I wonder if he'll reverse it and go for the opposite side. Try and pull the keeper onto the keeper's left foot and whip it in the other corner. Or Giggs will just have a blast at it.
Which will it be?
I still fancy Beckham to try and reverse it.
Giggs having a look. Beckham eyes only for the ball. It's Ryan Giggs who strikes it, and it's turned away by the defender Krishak. Didn't really thunder that. Just tried to guide it. Nizhnik leading the breakout. He's got to him. He's got to be careful. He's got a yellow card to his name already. Hope you've been lucky tonight. Manchester United, the important number for them. A goal which Ryan Giggs scored after 16 minutes. David Beckham. Giggs has moved infield again, looking for the ball. It's Keane, though, instead, just behind him. That was meant for Giggs, cut out by Pavlak. Omar Jagby. Nicky Butter got a final warning there from the referee. There was a little finger pointing in the direction of the dressing room. Any further transgressions and he will be leaving us. Throw into Manchester United. Here is Butt. Now Neville. Scholes. Keane. Beckham. Now Cole. Tried to drive the ball across the face of the goal early. Benkovsky, though, wasn't caught unawares. Neville has found Cole. Lotted goalwards, but just over the bar. Not quite sure if that's what Andy Cole had in mind.
I think he knew he had to stand it. I don't think he knew he could get a full whack on the ball. When he's trying to stand it, he's got a fair idea the keeper's going to be towards the first post. Good play from the two right-sided players again, Neville and Beckham.
No doubt in Manchester United's supremacy in this game, and any statistical analysis you care to make of it. The important statistic is the slender lead that they hold. The up stump. David Beckham. Gary Neville is forward here. It's Nicky Butt. Dennis Irwin has some space. Crossed in towards Scholes. It's out by Pavlak as far as Cole. And now Beckham. In towards Keane. Run off the ball, though, by Krishak. Butts has got it back. Now Irwin. Cole. He's turned this time. It's Andy Cole, blocked by the legs of the goalkeeper, Pawo. Good work by Cole.
That's excellent, isn't it?
Giggs has won the ball back from Sabula. Irwin, maybe another opportunity for Manchester United. Cole is there again. Benkovsky got in front of him. But though into the path of Neville. Wave after wave of Manchester United attack. Roy Keane this time. Curled in towards Andy Cole once more, just beaten to it. Neville trying to force it down, but good defending again by Krishak. He and Cole have never been far apart, but he slipped his man that time.
Yeah, I mean, this is good. The ball's fed into him. You can see him holding his marker off. He swivels. It's a great pity here. He can't. I mean, he hasn't got time to look. He knows where the goal is. He can only get the ball going towards goal. It's a great pity, though. He could have just pulled it across to the other side of the net. The other side of the net was gaping. But of course, when you've just rolled a defender on the edge of the box, you haven't really got time to have a glance.
Giggs trying to get away from Omar Jagby. First touch was good, but Omar Jagby got his considerable frame between Giggs and the ball. Beckham won it back firmly. Giggs has it again via Irwin. Ryan Giggs into Andy Cole! Make any sort of contact, it'll run through for Paul Scholes. That was a good chance.
Brilliant. I mean, that's the sort of ball I've been advocating. And to be fair to United, they had space in the box then. A lot of times when they've had it in crossing positions, there's been bodies of defenders, banks of defenders. That was a superb ball. Coley should have knocked that one home.
Manchester United corner. David Beckham. It's Irwin. A lot of bodies between Dennis Irwin and the goal. He scored a hat-trick last week for Manchester United in a friendly match in Norway. 2 penalties and a deflected free kick. Goalkeeper hasn't been taking the goal kicks since half-time. Now, here's a chance for Rodrigo, the Brazilian. which has been shown a yellow card. Beckham looking to get Neville on the dangerous side of his marker. Came to Neville eventually and made sure of that. Cole to Key. Irwin has space. 4 to aim for. David Beckham had his shirt tugged by Vichkiewicz. Nobody made contact with the cross. Rodrigo unable to make any sort of impact on the game, apart from the fact that he has been yellow carded. We're approaching three-quarter time now. Still 1-0. Here's the goal scorer. Ryan Giggs. Taken away by Krishak. Keane. Beckham. Seen by Benkovsky. Rodrigo. Zuberek. Cross. Omodjagmi. Sabula.
If I've got a criticism of United's build-up play, you know, it's when they have it in wide areas. I mean, I think a lot of the stuff that's gone through the middle, where they've tried to play touches and little give and goes and little flicks around the corner, that's understandable. That hasn't all come off, but it's nearly come off. And when they played it into Cole's feet, I think when they played into wide areas, good crossing areas in the last third of the pitch, I think that United have been static in the middle. You know, I'd like to... That last cross, for instance, when Giggs went over, he played it in, and there were 3 United players, Beckham, Scholes and Cole, all behind the first defender. Instead of somebody, even if they're not going to get the ball, Clive, disturbing him and letting one of the others in.
It's the sort of area which you would expect both Scholes and Cole to... They're the sort of players who do dart in front of defenders. Get touches.
I just wonder whether they've been conditioned tonight. They've probably said, all right, we're going to have to play against a packed defence. We'll have everything fed into feet, and we'll try and work on little twists and turns, and they've lost something out. Now, this is an instance. Somebody should be attacking the near post there.
Beckham's cross was towards the near post. Benkovsky got his head to it.
Yeah.
So did Krishak. Butt trying to make something of it, edge of the penalty area. He was certainly impeded. It's Beckham! Found a way through. I think the best that Butt could have hoped for was obstruction, and it ran for Beckham anyway.
Yeah, you've seen him hit those hard, haven't you, David Beckham?
Here's Beckham again. Hoisted in towards Scholes. Brought away by Sabula. 3 in the break, and Roy Keane has broken it up and won the ball very cleanly and been penalised.
Actually, if you get away without a booking for something like that, that's something you consider if there is such a thing as a good foul. He broke the momentum up then. That was starting to get a little bit of a threat then.
2 men ahead of the ball. Cross. Vichkiewicz. Here's Irwin. All seem to be running into trouble there, Dennis Irwin. But Johnson has filled in for him. And Jaszczycki has run into trouble, and they're not exactly brimful of confidence in themselves, like Erzbuch.
Jaszczycki, you've got to feel sorry for him. He picks the ball, he runs forward, and there's nothing but red shirts ahead of him. And there's still 50 yards to go then before he can see Schmeichel.
I think Schmeichel is still with us. Here's Stam. It's their throw.
I just wonder if Alex really wanted to push it home now, or whether he's going to be content to go 1-0. Whether he might consider bringing off a central midfield player, you know, dropping Scholes a little bit deep, You're putting Sheringham on up the middle. It certainly gives them another, if you like, another string to the bow attacking-wise, and you just don't, you know, you touch wood because you know so many things can go wrong in Europe. But I would have thought they got away with one anchor man tonight at the moment, the way the game's developing.
This was the stage that Sheringham came on Sunday with 20 minutes remaining, and of course he had a couple of chances in the closing stage of the Charity Shield.
In my own feeling is if he comes on, he'll probably come on as a straight swap for one of the two front players. But I think they could afford to gamble here a little bit. Take one of the defensive midfield players off.
It's Jacek Pashalevich waiting to come on. Now, would you have a free kick here? Sabula will take it. There are 4 white shirts in the box. And Manchester United have a free kick. It was Vidzikiewicz who was leading on Neville. Here comes Pashalevich, sent on by Marek Juba, who started the championship season as coach of Łódź, was then relegated to number 2 in August when they had a bad result, and then promoted again in March when they had another bad result. Off goes Zuberek, who you may remember had that romping run down the left-hand side early in the second half.
Makes you wonder what would have happened if he'd have played as an out-and-out front player. That's his only real contribution to the game in a positive sense. The rest of the game he's been more or less tracking either Neville or Beckham.
Would you brought on a defender in place there, forward. Vidzikiewicz. More towards Sabula. Well, turning up. Key. Neville. Scholes. Now Beckham. It's down to Johnson. Giggs to Irwin. But Beckham forced it into the direction of Giggs, but he was caught by Kos, and a free kick has been given.
It's a bit of a fortunate free kick for United, that. I mean, Beckham, the ball's fed in there, and I think he'd actually played the ball away when Kos made the challenge.
It was Pashalevich actually who caught him. Now Yapstam might just get involved in this free kick. He's the man on the right there. I think he's going to hit this. Knock Beckham or Giggs out of the way if they get in the way. Beckham tees it up. Stam strikes. Wide. There's plenty of him, so when it is hit, it stays hit. Didn't quite catch that one, he just dragged it a bit.
It's incredible how close the charge he gets, though, isn't it, to the kicker? Well, they come out of blocks like Linford Christie, and they're about 2 yards off the kicker by the time he's ready to pull the trigger.
Using the Linford Christie analogy, I think most of them make a full start, though. Pashalevich, and as far as Butt. Gary Neville. Beckham making the run. Neville making the pass, and Benkovsky making the interception. He's read the game well, the number 4.
Yeah, he was very, very good there. I was just thinking that, very, very good. Got across good and strong. Good authority about the way he strode out across Beckham. And he looks like a sergeant major, doesn't he?
Senior man. He was capped by Poland 10 years ago. A couple of years in Korean football in the early 90s. Beckham. Oh, he tried to curl it. It's just a little straighter than he'd hoped.
He doesn't just get it outside his right foot enough to set the ball off. Really needed to be setting his shot up wide in the post.
Robert Jagby. They have been very limited coming forward, which Keane into Cole. Now Giggs. And they've been very tigerish in their own half of the field, no doubt about that. They stood the ground and fought that corner and made it difficult for Manchester United to play through them. And when they played around them, they've defended the crosses pretty manfully. Gary Neville hoisted in towards Roy Keane, just a touch too long.
2 months' time, he'll have scored then. He'll have made that, because he is absolutely supreme in the air. He's got a great spring on him. But even then, he looked a little bit laboured, didn't he?
Plenty of choice there, Solskjaer and Sheringham in particular. His legs were a bit weary when they got there, weren't they? Quite got the spring, despite the new pitch. Not that good, is it? By Neville. There goes Koss.
They've become a bit untidy over the last few moments, Man United. Whether it's concentration going or what, there may be an amount of tiredness, and it's still an early part of the season for them.
Alex Ferguson was particularly concerned about bringing his World Cup players back earlier than he'd intended. He wanted them to have a longer rest, really, after the finals. At the same time, he didn't want them to lose the momentum that football out in France had brought them. Here's Giggs. And the sidestep was good. His cross was a little long, although Parcelevich made a bit of a hash of it. Had a good night, Ryan Giggs. Stam and Johnson are up there. Beckham's corner. Keane's jump. Krishak above him. Beckham's got it back, but Stam. Header away by Parcelevich.
Still feel United when the ball's wide have too many players static. I mean, if you think back to a couple of years ago when Bruce and Pallister were the central defenders, they used to take big long runs, didn't they, for calls? I mean, and there'd be good movements, good rotation between the two of them. You know, sometimes Pallister would go in and attack the penalty spot, and Bruce would come around the back. They seem, Johnson and Stam seem to be in there too early. They're coming off standing jumps as opposed to coming on running jumps.
Not the world's greatest lip reader, but I think that was Ollie. Come on, get ready. Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer. You watch Sheringham will come on. Beckham. Oh, they got in a tangle there. Goalkeeper fancied himself as an inside forward. He's getting a right roasting from his captain. My fault. Stam lost that momentarily. Rodrigo's over his shoulder, and here is Rodrigo. And there's a chance here for Vieszczycki, which came and went in an instant, and I think just as well for Jaap Stam that it did. It's an awkward ball dropping out of the sky over his shoulder, but he didn't really deal with that.
I mean, there's a standard rule for defenders: you don't let the ball bounce. You clean out. Actually, let's give Schmeichel. This is a good one. There's a standoff now. Schmeichel and Stam.
First of many, I would think.
You ought to give Steve Bruce a ring, tell him how to deal with him, didn't you?
Here is Stam. I think it's a good sign. I actually thought that Peter Schmeichel was a bit quiet at Wembley on Sunday, and I just wonder, he's spent his life shouting at Bruce and Pallister, and they know what to expect of each other, and suddenly he's got a couple of new guys, and I don't know, maybe he thinks twice about it. Maybe he feels that he's got to be around them a little bit longer before he can really take command of everything back there.
Maybe somebody's told him that a voice when you heard him sing. And he does that advert. Oh. Like bacon or something.
Parcelevich. Black. Manchester United are going to make a change now. It's going to come with 10 minutes remaining. And we're going to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think in place of Paul Scholes. Ball still in play with Nicky Butt. Dennis Irwin. Stump. Beckham. Irwin. Giggs. Into Dennis Irwin. Hung up towards Andy Cole. Yes! Clear daylight for Manchester United. Andy Cole, the goal scorer. A little under 10 minutes remaining of the first leg, and Manchester United have a healthy lead to take to Poland.
Brilliant play by Giggs, and this is superb from Dennis Irwin. Stands it over the keeper, full marks to Cole. He gets in there, springs, always arching back. That's a magnificent chip. The only place he can put it over the keeper. Coley goes in break between defenders and, as you say, virtually puts United in the Champions League. That's a magnificent cross.
He got 5 in Europe last season, Andy Cole. He got that hat-trick in Rotterdam, of course, against Feyenoord. He's going to have a new partner for the remainder of the game. Solskjaer has replaced Scholes. 25 goals last season in total, Andy Cole, and nobody in the Premiership scored more goals than that. And his statistics remain impressive.
He's actually got a phenomenal strike rate for games, hasn't he?
It's not bad if you count his starts for Manchester United. He's right up there on every other game, or around about that sort of ratio. He was in the England squad till April. He didn't quite force his way into Glenn Hoddle's final thoughts. Manchester United, thanks to goals from Ryan Giggs early in the game, and now Andy Cole late in the game, have a 2-goal lead. That's the sort of margin that Alex Ferguson was talking about pre-match. It's been satisfactory, certainly. Terrific cross.
This is a great dig out. And that's a super header. Got plenty to do, although the keeper's gone missing.
Manchester United, not the only famous name on the European Cup chopping block tonight. There were some celebrated runners-up last season. Bobby Robson's in Slovenia with PSV Eindhoven tonight. Not sure if Ronaldo's back in action for Inter Milan as yet, but they're in Latvia in 2 weeks' time. Cole looking for more. Header away was by Pavlak, with his own goal staring him in the face.
He's done well here again, Andy Cole. Just stood it up again. I mean, that's one of my things about keepers. I don't know why they go to the near post so soon. When anything stood over them, it leaves the goal completely unattended.
Manchester United's control of the game emphasised. Giggs with a header at the near post of that 10th corner.
He's had a great night tonight, Giggs.
Over Jagby is about to leave us. His replacement is Ariel Jakubowski. But Bayern Munich are playing tonight. Benfica, Rosenborg, Bilbao, all putting their reputations on the line and their bank accounts. The sort of names that you expect to see in the league section of this competition, but nobody, not least Manchester United tonight, taking their opponents for granted at this stage. It's such an important step. Roy Keane. Neville. Stam looking for Cole. Trying to angle the ball in behind Parshalevich for Beckham. Stam. Looking long for Solskjaer. Put away by Benkowski. Johnson to Stam. Beckham. Giggs trying to let it run. Parshalevich had a little bite at Stam, which I would have thought was fairly inadvisable.
Must be an inexperienced player.
He bounced off him, that's for sure. There is, yeah, he's a bit angry. Solskjaer, a bit heavy with the touch. Koss. Rodrigo. It's very much one pass at a time for Woods. There's nothing very concerted or...
No, they'd have been very happy, wouldn't they, if for some reason they could have hung on to a 1-0. And prior to Giggs setting up the chance, you know, it looked as if they were going to get away with it. He didn't really get the feeling that Man U were going to score again.
Giggs' goal set up by Paul Scholes just after the quarter-hour mark. Andy Cole's set up by a terrific left-footed cross from Dennis Irwin. I'm not quite sure whether he's right-footed or left-footed, Irwin. Prefers his right side, but lovely balanced player. And the assists from Scholes and Irwin, as impressive really as the finishes from Giggs and Cole, which were both tidy, that's for sure. Here's Solskjaer, who played most of the second half on Sunday. Neville. Here is Cole. Yeah, his first touch wasn't the best, but he hunted it down, kept possession for Manchester United. Beckham a little long with the cross. Solskjaer had gambled on the near post that time. Rodrigo. Benkowski showing his shot from long range, claiming that it was deflected wide.
He wouldn't have wanted an own goal there if he'd gone in with it.
It was an optimistic effort. United will play before a full house of 24,000 in Łódź in 2 weeks' time. I visited the stadium myself back in 1983 because Liverpool played their European Cup quarter-final against Lodz, Łódź, the other team in the city, at LKS's stadium. Jakubowski. Vitsev team put Manchester United out of the UEFA Cup this season before. Final minute of normal time. I understand there'll be an extra 4 minutes of stoppage time added. I suppose on paper the 2-0 scoreline offers Łódź some kind of hope for the second episode. Manchester United could find another in these remaining 5 minutes or so. I think even that would be wiped out. Solskjaer. Pavlak was strong that time. Parshalevich. Beckham got a foot in. Solskjaer lost it though. Beckham got it back again. Space for Keane. In towards Giggs. 2-0 barely does justice to United. They've been a lot better than their opponents tonight, haven't they, Ron?
In terms of possession, in terms of attacking, yeah, they haven't, I don't think, particularly second half, I don't think they've created that many chances, you know. But I think they'll win out there as well. Looking at this, I mean, obviously the state of play now, they've got to make some front running, and, you know, United might be quite happy to soak them up and hit them on the break. I can see United, as I say, I can see United winning the second leg fairly comfortable.
They'll get a very stiff test again here on Saturday from Leicester City. Always know you've been in a game with Martin O'Neill's side.
That'll be much harder than this. Oh, no doubt. I mean, I would have thought if you're going to have a European game in midweek at this stage, this has been a nice little pipe opener for them, because they've virtually played at their own tempo as and when they've liked, and it's probably done them better in the training session.
Rodrigo forward, cut out by Johnson. Johnson and Stam have got another 90 minutes under their belt together.
That's a very important factor, isn't it? Understanding, you know, very often central defenders take an age to work together.
Alex Ferguson was saying yesterday that he nearly jumped off the roof of Old Trafford when he saw Bruce and Pallister together for the first few games. I'm sure they would take issue with that, but he said it wasn't an instant relationship. Here's Kos. Sabula. No penetration from Woods. Headed down by Keane. On by Cole. Solskjaer tried to let it run. Denkowski was having none of that. Attacked the ball well all night tonight, the veteran defender.
I think looking what we've seen today, you'd have to expect them as well, maybe to play sort of Zubiaric as a front player, an out-and-out front player, because he did give us the one positive moment of the second half when he ran at the United side, thundered a shot.
They sold their Championship leading goal scorer just a couple of weeks ago. In fact, I saw Alex Ferguson late in the afternoon. He'd seen a couple of tapes of Woods playing against the team from Azerbaijan. He said, tell you what, the number 11's a good player. He said, he'll give us some problems tonight. He said, no, he won't. They've sold him. He was made up. Really pleased. But information's been a little slow to come through on the opponents. Giggs took the free kick a little early. The wall wasn't back. It'll be retaken. But they know a lot more about them now.
I just wonder, have a little look at this. I just wonder if they, instead of going for a shot, just dink one towards the near post. He's gone in on it now, funnily enough.
Towards Keane, punched by the goalkeeper. Irwin played it back in towards Cole. Nearly got the weight right. Keeper punched again and found only Beckham. Pulled back towards Solskjaer. Important header though by Parshalevich. Here goes Dennis Irwin again. Felt he was impeded, nothing doing. Clearance his paw. Irwin's livid.
I think that's good defending from Jakubowski there. He just managed to turn quickly into Irwin's run, prevented him running round him.
He's now the only survivor at the club, Dennis Irwin, from the team the squad that won the Cup Winners' Cup in '91. All the other 10 and all the other subs, all 15 of them have left the club.
That'll teach him to win the Cup Winners' Cup, won't it?
Well, they're well on the way to finding their way into the Champions League. 2 goals tonight, the first of them from Ryan Giggs, steered home with his left foot after he'd been set up by Paul Scholes. The second of them a header late in the day from the hard-working Andy Cole, from a good cross from Dennis Irwin. It's what Alex Ferguson asked for. It hasn't been scintillating, but they have been superior by far tonight and richly deserving of their 2-0 first leg win.